our very first podcast, our very first episode of Deception and Healthcare in America with Kathy Ann and Jennifer. My name is Jennifer, and
And I'm Kathy Ann, and I have been deceived, y'all. And that is one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast.
we're going to bring to you guys, raw, inclusive topics that are going to, strike a nerve. Some of you can jump in there and you can relate to us. I know our name is healthcare, but it's kind of, it's actually like a sick care system. And that's why we're here talking to you guys about this. And we'll just go ahead and jump into, real life. Right now, I'm in the middle of a situation with insurance. Our insurance is the same, but they've decided to go and hire what you would, I guess, call insurance police, is what it's been explained to me. They are the middleman. This company's name is Lavinity, but we're actually with United Healthcare. They're like a pharmacy benefits management, is what Kathy Ann's been kind of digging into, researching a little bit, because we've never even, tell them we've never dealt with like these middlemen that come in here and I guess are like policing the doctors or
Right. It's called a PBM. It's a prescription management service. They've kind of inserted themselves into the healthcare system, driving cost of drugs up, and then profiting off that.
which is funny because what was explained to me why we need them, why they're so necessary. All of a sudden out of nowhere, they're actually supposed to be saving us money. But they're not. You're right. You said exactly what they're doing. But so I'll go ahead and jump in here and start and tell everybody what they did was I'm type 1 diabetic. So I only take insulin. I take a background insulin. I take a mealtime insulin. I take Toujeo, which is very similar to Lantus. It's just a different molecular structure. I was on Basaglar, which is Lantus and Basaglar are the same. It's a background insulin. Just for those of you that don't understand insulins, you have a background that regulates your blood sugar 24 hours a day. And you guys, where I'm the same as y'all, is our liver, pumps out glucose. And that's where my pancreas says, I'll give you a little bit or I'll give you none. So that's where that background insulin jumps in and it regulates that blood sugar and keeps it from going too high. So then I have a mealtime insulin, which is Humalog that I take, and I take that with my meals, right? So anyways, the background insulin is very important because there's no way to just sit there and kind of create a drip line, if you will, mealtime insulin. It has a peak. It onsets at 15 minutes, it peaks at 1 hour, and it's gone. Really, they say within 5 hours, but it's to each individual. Mine's gone within 3. So you can't sit there and take Humalog all day. It would be stacking insulin. It would kill you. I mean, there's no way to do that. As awesome as it is, they still haven't perfected the mealtime stuff. So anyways, so that's why the background insulin is so important. And so I'm on my last pen, okay? And I called to get it filled in 5 weeks ago. It's actually been 5 weeks ago. Yesterday was 5 weeks. So they said, we won't fill your Toujeo after 3 weeks of if your doctor will just submit this and submit an appeal and whatnot. He did all those things. And then they said, okay, well, we're still not going to cover it. We want you to take the generic. So I finally just said, fine, whatever I can get at this point, and I'll worry about a name brand later or something. I just need insulin. Like now I'm on my last pin. Now I'm starting my last pin, as this is happening in real time. And so what they did was he had to send in another prescription while I waited. And now they cannot this generic insulin. It's not readily accessible. And so now I have other concerns I'm sitting here worrying about not only just my pen that I need now, but now I'm worrying about, okay, so what about when it comes time for refills and you guys can't, and then I also live in the South, down here, we have hurricanes all the time. We have windstorms, we have all these things. So if you lose your insulin, because your power goes out or it is time for refill and then it's not readily accessible, everything we have, moves out of a bigger city, out of Houston, and comes this way. So anyway, it's just like it's a domino effect like anything else, but that's kind of where we're at right now. And I didn't want to go too far into it. But if Kathy Ann's kind of been here with me because I've been venting to her and kind of like, we're problem solvers, you guys. We don't just like gripe. And that's one thing about this channel. You're going to find out we like to find solutions. we're not going to sit around. If we cry, it's not going to last very long because the other one's going to be like, hey, okay, now you need to go do this. Because, we get the information, we process it, and then we say, okay, now what can I do? So with that being said, I have spent every single day on the phone. I've even gone down and made a in-person visit. They have flown down a Livinity representative. This will be her third week here. I went and saw her last week, and she assured me that within, I think it was over the weekend because it was, well, that was the last time that she said that. But in the first time, it was within, the next day, she would have even, she would pull a pin from the local CVS or wherever she could find it. It didn't matter, within my zip code, this is a big area. And they have not been able to locate it. And that was last week. And I'm still sitting here waiting on a pin. And I've called her every day because she gave me her personal, contact cell phone, says call me any time of day. Which I told her, I would never call you at night, even though that was one of her comments was, you can even call me at 10 o'clock at night and I'll make sure, we can locate you insulin at any time. I understand that you're type 1 and that this is like air for you, and then she tells me how she has a pharmacy license that she's let lapse, and she understands in great detail, the ins and outs of being a type 1. And, you can't just be like, I'll just go a couple of days without it. This is not a vitamin, you guys. This is not, this is serious. It's as serious as like blood pressure medication. How, you hear about someone skips a blood pressure pill and people have had strokes in the first 12 hours of skipping a blood pressure pill. I mean, this regulates your system. You've got to have it. I can't live without it. So, either I end up in the hospital and then I come home, and like me and Kathy Ann were talking about earlier, it is self-treatable at home. This is not a dis-ease that, I'm on a ball and chain at the hospital. This is self-treatable with insulin. And it's my job to, navigate that. That's not anybody else's job. But my insurance company gets a prescription from the doctor that me and him decide works best with my body to keep me healthy, functioning, and living my best life, whatever that looks like. And, they're just unable to even get the ball rolling just with just insulin, just simple insulin. So I'm going to let Kathy Ann step in here. I know she's had some, insurance issues too, and she may have some comments on what I've said or may have forgotten something. But anyways, go ahead, Kathy Ann.
So, first of all, this is like super unreal. I can't even believe this is happening. But so they want you to go on the generic because your name brand one is too expensive, right?
Right. Well, yeah, without saying it.
So your name brand is at the pharmacy right now, but they won't give it to you because they're trying to locate the generic one. Is that right?
Correct.
So you could have your insulin. You're on your last pen now. You
Correct.
could easily have your insulin. They just want to give you the cheaper one that doesn't work as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. Like, this is garbage because they pay their insurance. They garnish your husband's wages to pay for the insurance, like they do mine.
There's no time lapse with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They get their money. They do. Just like my husband, they take our money, but then they deny us our benefits. Like, I don't understand this. Her doctor says she should have that insulin, and it is the insurance company's job to pay for that insulin that her doctor is prescribing, right? That's the deal.
That's right.
That is the deal.
That's the way it's worked forever and ever. It's worked, it's gone on. I have never even, they do refills. They do automatic refills for me. And I mean, they are very timely. I mean, they get stuff here in 24 hours. FedEx brings, a box and it's still cold and it's got the packaging and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these pharmacy benefits management teams, but
yes.
Yeah.
So PBM Pharmacy Benefits Manager, they drive up drug costs, but they contribute nothing. They're just there for a piece of the pie. So, in the past, I've never had a health problem before, but I did have gestational diabetes. And I will tell you that I've never had a medication denied, but they refused to pay for my diabetes monitor. And I'm still mad about it. And it was only like $100. And I'll make the story quick. They said I had to buy my diabetes monitor from a United Healthcare, not a store, but a vendor. It was a vendor.
Like
So
a
they sent me
preferred choice. Yeah.
yes. So
That's
they
their wording. Mhm.
yes. So they sent me to a vendor in my city, and I went there, and it was an abandoned building. So I went home and I called, and so they sent me to another vendor. And I went there, and it was some like business, it was probably like a Kohl's or something. I don't remember what it was, but they didn't have diabetes monitors. So I called back, and they gave me an address, but this time I wasn't going to drive there. I looked it up on Google Maps, and it was some other business.
Just
And I
bogus.
kept
Yeah.
calling back, and I kept saying, "You're not sending me to legitimate places." And finally, we were in another state at this point because they could not find a vendor in my state. So they wanted me to drive to another state to get my diabetes monitor. And if I did not do that, they couldn't pay for it because I didn't get it from their vendor. So I went to Walgreens and I bought my diabetes monitor. I filled out the paperwork for reimbursement and sent in my receipt, and they denied me. And I called. They did. They denied it because I didn't get
They
it from their vendor.
denied the reimbursement on the meter.
Yes.
Wow.
So I called
That's
and I
low.
said, "This is ridiculous. You know, you're supposed to pay for my monitor, and you sent me on a wild goose chase. And what you did is not realistic. It's not, you know what I'm saying?"
Well,
And
to add on to that, like we were talking about my test strips, they won't even pay for my test strips, so I do all that out of pocket as well.
it's
Because
wild.
they say I have a Dexcom, so there's no need to test my blood sugar, but the Dexcom is 80% accurate. So I take insulin, which, as you very well know, you could do a half a unit too much and you could end up on the floor or worse, have a seizure. So it's like, why do you not want me to have that available to me when I know that my Dexcom is inaccurate or it goes out? A lot of times it'll say, that it can't connect or the Bluetooth isn't working. And so I'm just supposed to sit there and guess, you know? What my blood sugar is?
Right. You're
Yeah.
a diabetic. You should have access to your test strips, and they should be paying for it because,
That should be a
again,
basic need, a test
basic.
strip and a glucometer. I mean, come on, people. Yeah.
And again, they have no problem garnishing your wage, but they do have a problem with giving prescriptions. I see it's like connecting. But anyways, guys, we have like so much to say on this. This is just our first installment, and like we can't stop. Um,
Right.
but
And I
we
think we're
are,
having some connection problems too. So we should probably try to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm
yeah,
not sure
yeah, yeah, I saw that too.
from my end.
But Jennifer, this is an ongoing thing right now. We're going to keep you updated on what's happening
And we'll
in
let
her
you know
situation.
how it goes. Yeah, from today. As of right now, I'm waiting on a call that I was supposed to get this morning, and it is 12:52 in the afternoon. So
Yeah.
still no word
So,
on an insulin. So
so yeah, you guys are going to be on the edge of your seats wondering, did she get that insulin pen?
and in the meantime, if you guys have any comments or questions or anything, feel free to chime in and we're information scientific based. So, we do have a few opinions, but not really. Like I said, we're on here. We're problem solvers and solution oriented, you know, um, realists, and we're just we if we can help anybody else out there, we would love to. So I think that wraps it up for today.
Okay, well, wait for our next podcast and you'll find out if Jennifer gets her medication or did she go to the hospital?
Oh my gosh.
Did she get her medicine? Who knows? The future hasn't occurred yet. We won't know what happens. But anyways, yes, please listen to our podcast. It should be informative and very entertaining and very real. And we're real people and we're real
Yeah,
funny.
so be on the lookout. We're gonna starting out, we're gonna release one episode a week. We want to bring you guys good quality, good information, and solid. Not not just entertainment. I mean, we've learned to laugh about it. Might as well, right? So,
Yeah.
anyways, so you guys look out for us next week.
All right. Bye.
Later.